going. There we go. Okay, so for our prompts for today, if we could only keep anabolic steroids or corticosteroids, which one would you keep? Which type seems more useful? Are corticosteroids dangerous? And then also maybe dipping a little bit into the history of steroids as well as the legal aspect, but we'll see what we have time for.
Yep.
Okay, so if we could only keep anabolic steroids or corticosteroids, which one would you keep? Any thoughts?
When I
Yeah.
thought
Oh, go ahead, Marcel.
when I thought of this prompt, I was thinking we could come up with like advantages and disadvantages of both to see
Okay.
like which one outweighs the other, so that if there's a scenario where it's one or the other that we can have and the other one we can't use at all, which one
Mhm.
should we keep?
Mhm.
Yeah. Diego, you had something?
Yeah, well, I guess we can all kind of talk about it. Let's start with anabolic steroids. So, for anabolic steroids, they do have health benefits if a doctor prescribes them to a patient, right?
Yeah.
But in the other side, athletes use them for their own benefit. So overall, I think corticosteroids would would be in my favor, but that's just because I feel like corticosteroids are used more for patients to, help them, whereas anabolic steroids are used more for athletes. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I was gonna say a similar thing. Like, I feel like the one that I would keep would probably be corticosteroids because that, decreases or helps dealing with inflammation in the body and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, Whereas anabolic steroids are just about like increase in testosterone, where I feel like that would be useful, but I feel like um corticosteroids would be more useful.
Mhm.
Um, because I mean, anabolic steroids, they do have their downfalls.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't fully know about the downfalls of corticosteroids, but I'm sure they have their downfalls or downsides as well. Um, I don't know. What are you thinking, Marcel?
I'm definitely agreeing with you guys. Like, I think the main benefit of anabolic steroids are for the people who like lack testosterone for whatever reason and they need that extra amount. That's like the valid medical reason why you'd take it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then you guys covered it. You have the kind of the unethical side where people use it for their own benefit, and which is illegal. And then corticosteroids have many different benefits. I think
Yeah,
last
it's ridiculous. Like they can help treat as like asthma and arthritis. It's nuts.
Mhm. And even last week we talked about like in organ transplants, corticosteroids can help suppress the immune system from like having a chance to reject the organ and like attack it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was something
Yeah.
Diego brought up last time, which is a definite advantage.
Oh yeah.
And you're right, Ethan, that corticosteroids do have downfalls, side effects. Like for instance, my grandpa actually uses a corticosteroid called
Yeah.
prednisone, I think,
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
his lungs, because kind
Yeah.
of most of his life he's had like lung issues,
Mm-hmm.
and he has to use this. He has to like take them, I think 3 times a day,
Oh geez.
and but it helps a lot.
Okay.
And one of the side effects that he's told me about is like his skin is like thin, like it can get cut easily.
Mm.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure like how the corticosteroids do that, but that's like one of the side effects. But I think it outweighs the benefit. I mean, it doesn't outweigh the benefit. Like to reduce the inflammation, I definitely like I don't think it's a bad side effect at all, like compared to the benefit it gives.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And may I ask why he takes them? Like, does he have arthritis or?
No, like he has like doesn't really have asthma, but he he's had pneumonia a lot
Oh,
throughout
okay.
his
Jeez.
life, and he's never like smoked or anything, but he lived like in the north, like he was born in Minnesota where it's really, really cold. And I think it's just like in his genetics, kind of just lung issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good information to know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which type seems more useful? I mean, I think we've kind of agreed corticosteroids, but
Hmm.
I mean, both are useful, but I think corticosteroids are more useful.
Yeah, they have like more uses. They can be spread across multiple like problems they can be a solution for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I just, even though I'm saying it again, like I was amazed by how much um corticosteroids help, like all the stuff that it helped with. It was ridiculous.
Hmm.
Yeah. But of course they are dangerous. You know, thin skin. Um, forgot what some of the other side effects were, but yeah,
I think that's something that going on we should research more into is the
absolutely.
side effects of corticosteroids because I'm not really sure how dangerous they are compared to anabolic steroids.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, they're just, we don't, I mean, no one talks about it like anabolic or corticosteroids. They just say
Mhm.
steroids, but um corticosteroids like aren't m- not much is known about them, so we don't really know off the top of our heads what um their downfalls or side
Mhm.
effects or whatever would be. But
Well, something that I learned in one of my classes
yeah,
was that I know that people who have diabetes, it might not be the best for them to take corticosteroids because due to their blood sugar levels, the corticosteroids make their blood sugar levels rise like a lot. And so
okay,
for them it'd be really dangerous.
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah,
Hmm. But yeah, I think Ethan, you're right. That's like corticosteroids and steroids in general are, you know, misinterpreted by a lot of people.
yeah,
It's like they're not really common, so uh, it involves having a deep, research for the people who are doing them.
yeah. um History of steroids. Oh, well, actually, while we're on, before we do that, I just want to say just something weird that popped up while I was watching YouTube earlier this week. There was some ad for, oh boy, increasing like the size of the male reproductive organs. And it was like tested in either mice or rats. But like the one thing that tipped me off is at the end it was like helping to reduce cortisol levels, and corticosteroids are the synthetic version of cortisol, which the body naturally produces to help with like inflammation and that kind of thing. I just wanted to add that in there.
It's interesting.
um yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting.
it was a weird ad. I don't know why I decided to watch it all the way through, but at the end I was like, oh my god, cortisol, I know where that comes from.
Yeah,
um
that's funny.
uh I know it was weird. Um, and then history of steroids, legal aspect of them. I know you've been going more into that, Marcel. So
Yeah, for the history part, one thing that crosses my mind that I read is that people started taking anabolic steroids like in the 1950s, I think it started.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and it wasn't for the medical reason, it was like for bodybuilding and stuff like that. So this is not like a new thing by all means.
oh yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
not,
I know that testosterone was first synthesized in Germany. I've been
really.
researching, and it was in 1935,
Oh
and I actually
geez.
have it in my literature review. But when athletes actually began to use them in sports, that was during the 1954 Olympics.
Hmm.
So that's what I know about them.
Mhm.
I know that they were made in 1935, and then they were actually used by athletes in 1954.
Wow. So probably German soldiers used some form of steroids in World War II, maybe.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Could be.
I mean, it doesn't matter because they lost.
Yeah.
I know that's in poor taste, but still.
Yeah. That's most of what I know about the history.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, obviously we know that they're not really good for you, right? So
Yeah. I mean, people want them because of the, positive part of it, but
mhm,
everything has their negative.
mhm.
As for the legal aspect, Marcel, you've been doing the legal part of steroids.
Mhm. What I've found is that it varies in different countries actually. Like here in the US, if it's like a first time offense, I believe you can get fined up to $1,000, like if you're
Jeez.
in possession of anabolic steroids illegally.
Wow.
And I'm forgetting how long you can be in prison for, but and then I'm not sure, it's escaping my mind what the maximum like offense is, but it's a lot of money. I'm thinking like $100,000 and like 10 years in prison or something.
Wow.
Wait, so I'm a little bit confused. So if you have anabolic steroids or if you've taken them, that can, you know,
Illegally.
illegally that can take you to prison.
Yeah, like if you if you have them on you and you don't have a prescription, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then in the UK, there's like an unlimited fine. So I guess based on the judge and the court, I'm not sure how their judicial system works, but yeah,
Dang.
there's no saying how much they'll charge you for
Oof.
that, which I
Wow.
thought was really interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I
Mhm.
don't. Well, I mean, I was gonna say I don't want to be in the UK, but then I'm like, wait a second. I don't even have. I don't do anything with steroids. Why would I be concerned? Yeah.
Yeah, and we can't forget that like it's still a drug, and it's not
Yeah.
like, medicine is drugs technically, and there has to be like laws about them.
Yeah. There has to be regulation.
Hmm.
We still have a little bit of time, so if anyone has anything. I
Yeah,
can't
I'm
think of
trying to
any.
remember something that I read before, but it was about like caffeine and some other drug enhancement that some athletes use. And oh, I think it was cocaine and caffeine. Those aren't allowed to be used in sports. And I was like, what? Really?
Hmm.
Mm.
I mean, cocaine, yeah, but like caffeine, I was like, whoa.
Really? That's the
Kind of,
caffeine part is surprising.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to find it.
Hmm. Because I mean, you'd think that just like you know, helping yourself wake up. I mean, that would make sense, but apparently not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and I know that in people's workout routines, sometimes people take this thing called pre-workout, which I think you can mix in a drink, and it's just kind of supposed to give you like more endurance and just help you overall with what you get out of your workout. And I know that has caffeine in it.
Hmm.
So that's interesting that
Yeah, I found it. It says nicotine and caffeine are also frequently used as stimulants in sports, but they have not been banned yet. But it says that the WADA monitoring program is like keeping them in observation for potential patterns of misuse in sports. So potentially they may be banned in sports, but they're not yet.
Hmm.
Yep.
Oh. Well, we are just about out of time. That was a really good discussion.
yes.
Cool.